Good afternoon, and here I am. I returned to Decatur, Georgia, United States of America. Yours truly, Dolphy Alexander Gilpin, with CME, Continual Medical Education, Continual Medical Engineering Education, Continual Medical or Mechanical Engineering, Continual Matrices Education or Continual Matrices Engineering Education. And then also represent math. So this CME represent multiple meanings with the same one common abbreviation. We've just completed oxygen, which simultaneously with the magnetization property of the AMZ5x12 matrix led us to the 7x18 matrix, which is the periodic table with a couple null spaces or blank spaces, and it was derived or came upon by the magnetization property of our 5x12 matrix. And there we describe the elements of the periodic table with the atomic number and atomic mass or atomic weights. And we note here that there was a specialized 2x14 matrix making up the lanthanide series and the actinoid series, which didn't follow the same pattern of the 7x18 format. And by the different properties, they end up into this group of the actinoid series and the lanthanide series, which is a 2x14 matrix. Nevertheless, here right now, what we're describing right now is albuterol sulfate, enhanced now by our AMZ5x12MIPCA, and also by the necessity of having oxygen in our breathing or in the air to breathe in the case of deficiency. Albuterol sulfate is named by the World Health Organization as salbutamol, with chemical name alpha prime dash, tert-butyl bracket amino methyl bracket dash 4 dash hydroxy dash M xylene alpha prime dash diol sulfate, which is a 2-to-1 salt. Now the structural formula, or chemical structure, is here represented as we take a look at it. Consisting of this sort of a benzene ring with double bonding, hexagon with double bonded, 3 double bonds here, and attached to this is a hydroxyl group here, and hydroxyl group there. Attached here is hydrogen, hydroxyl there, nitrogen there, single bond hydrogen, and with 3 methyl group down here, CH3 or H3C. Now this is the albuterol portion. Now the sulfate portion, H2SO4, this is what the structure looks like. Sulfur with double bonded oxygen, hydroxyl, and it's 4 oxygen, H2SO4. And hydrogen there. That's the sulfate portion there. All right. So before we get to the periodic table, let's look at now from down here that this albuterol sulfate now consists of now 5 elements: carbon, atomic number 6, with atomic mass 12.0107000. And notice I've put it with 12 with 8 digits, consistent with our AMZ5x12 digital configuration. Hydrogen, atomic number 1, atomic mass 1.007940000. Nitrogen, atomic number 7, and atomic mass 14.006700. And oxygen, atomic number 8, atomic mass 15.999400. And sulfur, atomic number 16, and atomic mass 32.065000. All of these are in AMU, atomic mass unit. So we notice here now in the periodic table we have had the albuterol sulfate consisting of sulfur, atomic number 16, and with its relative atomic mass 32 plus, oxygen atomic number 8 and atomic mass 15.994 plus, nitrogen atomic number 7, this is the periodic table now, and atomic mass about 14.90067 something there, and hydrogen. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements making up this structure of albuterol sulfate. And we say now that albuterol sulfate is a brand name for Proventil. It's the sulfate form of albuterol, which is also known as salbutamol by the World Health Organization. Albuterol sulfate causes the relaxation of bronchial smooth muscles, opening up the medium and large airways in the lungs. And it is used mainly for the treatment of bronchospasm induced by bronchial asthma, or it can also be induced by rigid exercise. You know, at least running long races or short races at very rapid speed can end up in this form. After finishing the race, gasping for breath, you know, having this hypoxemia sort of effect. And as well as now, it can be caused from COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COLD, chronic obstructive lung disease, also caused from pneumonia and pulmonary edema, and so on. Now, the albuterol sulfate comes, is an oral tablets, 2, 4, like 5 milligrams, and an inhaler to pump oxygen via inhalation through the nostril for people having asthma attack. So this is one other case in where air or oxygen, although this air is not pure oxygen, this is compounded with other chemical. Nonetheless, it's used for oxygen deficiency, or in case where there's air, which is a complex constituent of oxygen, nitrogen, and other gases in proportionate form. So here we have now possible abbreviation in our AMZ. Could have used albuterol for ALB or ALS, or with 8 digits following after, or ALS with 8 digits following after, for the numerical part of what you're describing there, or SLL for the salbutamol, or SLM for salbutamol. Those are suggested ALP, and this has nothing to do with what the brand name abbreviation has to do. This is just for my AMZ experiments and for precision amount of pharmacochemicals. Yeah, so we know that this albuterol sulfate now, once again, consists of the 5 elements here: sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and hydrogen, and with the consistent atomic number and atomic mass as described by this periodic table. And that now, this periodic table we came upon it now by the magnetization property of the AMZ5x12 matrix. This is just an extension, a 7x18 matrix here, a stochastic extension, you know, into a more larger matrix, and a 2x14 for the lanthanide and actinide series. But it was our oxygen, the intrinsic importance of our oxygen, that led us, and the magnetization property of the AMZ5x12 matrix, that's led us at this time to our periodic table of elements. So we'll be looking more at these elements as we go by, describing our pharmacochemicals in more details. We'll be using our periodic table in more frequent uses to give a more vivid picture of what is happening with these structures, with these chemical structures, these pharmacochemical structures used in solution to various malignancy and abnormality in our health. So with this, we're going to take a break, and we will return at some other time with our periodic table and with some other pharmacochemical or some other health process. We'll return with our analysis, description, and explanation. So let's take that break.